little, but we got another competition we need to talk about, and
Mhm.
that is starting tomorrow, I think.
Mhm.
The under 21 Euros,
Yep.
and big games there. Portugal, Italy,
Yep.
with my boy. Portugal's gonna win it. Just saying.
Okay.
And Netherlands against France. Like
Netherlands, France. Yeah, that's
those are
gonna be
two
a
big,
doozy.
big teams,
Yep.
blockbuster teams. Like who's in the French team? The French team they got Meslier,
Yep.
Upamecano, Konate, Ousmane, Camavinga,
Yep.
Hudson Edouard.
Mhm.
Uh, I
Look,
cannot.
look,
Let me see my notes.
Lacroix, Lacroix at center
Cacret,
back.
Maxime
Yeah.
Cacret, Moussa
Yep.
Diaby at Leverkusen player, really good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The Celtic scorer Odson Edward will be up top
Mm-hmm.
likely. I think this will. I feel like he's been under 23 for like 15 years, but yeah, he's obviously been their perennial striker up front. But yeah, just so
He'll
much
leave
depth.
Celtic. He'll leave
It
Celtic.
He should. He should. I mean, kind of the following the same road as Musa Dembele, but it's just whether or not where he goes. He
Stick to
was
the
he was
prem.
PSG, right? He was PSG to there as well.
Yes, yes. I'm not entirely sure though, but I think
I
Hudson Edouard would. I think he's heading to the Prem. I think Leicester is. I can see a lot of news with Leicester linking up with him,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
and
good.
it would be a smart business. And they got Somare already, but let's talk that afterwards. Under 21 Euros.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who are the
But
big
then,
stars for you?
well,
At
yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? That France, that's a tricky setup.
mm-hmm.
France Netherlands. Then Netherlands, unfortunately, a lot of their stars that helped them get there are going to be with the senior team, right? But you do have like a Calvin Stengs. And you have Myron Boadu. I probably said his name terribly. Sorry,
I like
but
it.
like, I mean, these are guys. Boadu could easily be with the Dutch senior squad right now.
Oh, Stanks too.
Stengs too, yeah, and Boadu especially because I'm looking at it and saying you take Luke De Jong
Uh huh.
over Myron Boadu. I don't understand that, but it's a tricky matchup because France, you can only put 11 players on the field. And when you have that glut of talent, it almost becomes tough, right? I
True.
mean, you need to have a team first. You can have a collection of talent, but if you don't have the team, it's a little
True,
bit tough.
and
So,
you saw that I put Svet Botman in my under 21 team of the season, and Svet
mhm.
Botman is gonna play
Yep,
in this European Championship. So the amount of quality that is in this competition, people need to pay attention to it.
they
And
do.
Portugal, ooh, that trio in midfield,
Yeah,
Florentine Luis, Jetson, and Vitinha, with Daniel Bragança coming from the bench.
yep,
Oh, you got Rafael Leão, Tiago Tomás, Gonçalo Ramos. Those strikers mean goals.
yeah. They almost have a
But
France problem. You can only put
uh,
11 on the field.
true, but France. I'm like I want Portugal to win, but
Mhm.
I need to admit it. France are absolutely stacked. There
Yeah,
is no Konate and Upamecano did moves to Bayern Munich and Liverpool, and they're playing in this competition.
yeah, it's unreal.
It's
Unreal with that. But I gotta say, we're forgetting here that Spain did win it the last. Yeah, Spain
mm,
won it the last time. That was only 2 years ago. But you were saying we have to watch this, right? U21 Euros. Well, here's the reason why. When Spain won 2 years ago, it was Dani Olmo, it was Fabian Ruiz, it was oh man, who was the other one? Mikel. I'm gonna get his last name wrong. Oyarzabal.
Oyarzabal.
Right? The
Hmm.
Real Sociedad guy who also seems to hit in. They're mostly penalty
He's a
kicks,
good
but
player.
you know,
He's a good
10
player.
plus 10 plus a year in La Liga. But they were the ones leading Spain to the tournament win, so they're going to be the ones leading the Spanish in Euro 2020s,
Yeah.
Euro 2020, I should say. So I'm not going to count Spain out because you got a Yavi Puado. You've
Mm.
got who are the other big ones from them? Help me out here.
Well, they got Brian Gil. I
Mm-hmm.
really like Brian Gil. I had here that is my one to watch. I have five players here. I wanna shout out
Okay.
to followers on TikTok and YouTube, so they can have special attention to them. And Antonio Blanco going with the Spanish team, Antonio
Mhm.
Blanco from Real Madrid. He is going to be a player that people will know. He it's interesting. He's the Busquets type player that you would expect to be at La Masia, but
Yeah.
no, he's with Real Madrid academy, and he is really good, really good. Antonio Blanco.
Okay.
You saw him play, right, in the youth league.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Really good. Then I got Chico Conceição,
Hmm.
who I think he was the youngest ever goal scorer, with his last goal for Portugal, coming off the bench. Really good player, fast pace, really good cut inside. Another one to watch, and Daniel Bragança too,
Okay.
because this Sporting kid, he's got a special touch.
Hmm.
Really good touch. Expect to see him next season a lot for Sporting. And Kareem Adeyami. I don't want
Yes.
to jinx his name. Kareem Adeyami. You people will soon know him because he'll leave RB Salzburg very soon. I don't see him staying too long, and he's one of the best Germany prospects out there, next to Wirtz Musiala.
Okay.
Kareem Adeyami, one of
Yeah.
the best. And Lovro Majer, Croatian talent, underrated in my opinion.
For
Dinam
sure.
Zagreb, midfielder,
Hmm.
really good player too. And yeah, these are my
Yeah,
spots.
well, I like all those. The Kareem Adeyemi one is I think he's going to have one full season with Red Bull Salzburg, kind of like with Patson Daka, kind of like with Dominic Szoboszlai before him. But he will get his day, right, to lead the line for Salzburg, see who they can upset, and him and Brendan Aronson are actually going to create a pretty awesome duo there. And they're going to have to rebuild a little bit because we do feel like Daka is going to leave. But Adeyemi, I believe, had double-digit goals for them this year and did most of it coming off the bench. Right, he got more starts later in the season. Scored some very important goals for them to help win the actual title, the league title for like the 50 billionth year in a row, or at least it feels like that. But that German future is pretty. I mean, a lot has to align for that future to develop properly. But
Mm.
between Florian Verts, who will also be at the U21 Euros, even though I think he should be at the Euros itself, that's a Verts versus Musiala kind of argument that you could have.
Mm.
But Florian Verts, Kareem Adeyemi, Yusufa Mukoko, Jan Thielman, and then you have obviously Jamal Musiala. These kids, they haven't even cracked the age of 20. I mean,
Mannschaft.
that is just an exciting future and there will be somebody else, but
And the Italian
that's
team too. The Italian
yeah.
team too won't be easy. Is Tonali there?
I,
I'm not sure. Gianluca Scamacca, I think that's his name.
yep, he's
Really
been
good player.
phenomenal.
Really
Hmm.
good player. Cutrone is there too. I was when I saw his name, I said, "Oh, he's here." And Piamonte, oh, he's there too. But
Yeah,
I saw that a lot of players that were of Spezia, they had an interesting bunch. They didn't have a lot of AC Milan, Juventus academy players.
yeah.
It's I don't know. The scouting team of Portugal, they had to do their homework. But I still feel like Portugal. If Portugal beats Italy, who they'll get?
Portugal beat Italy, though. It'll be an Iberian showdown. It'll be Spain, Croatia, and whoever wins, which we expect Spain, but you never know. With Moro pulling the strings, and Lovro Majer pulling the strings, it's a toss up. But I would expect to see Spain versus Portugal, and
Who wins the Netherlands France? Like,
yes,
because when we release this video, I think the result's gonna be out.
yeah.
So who's gonna win it?
Uh,
So our followers think like the gurus. But then we
yeah.
got some comments say, I'm not a football messiah, guys. I'm just a guy who likes football."
Yeah. I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go with France. I'm gonna go with
Okay.
the who I think the favorites are. But I think another dark horse to watch is you talked about Portugal not giving up, not conceding any goals in the group stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last time around,
Mm-hmm.
Denmark didn't either, and guess who they beat along the way? France. They beat France.
Mm.
So there's these are good teams. These are really solid collections of teams, and I think there will be an upset. But when all is said and done, I'm not going to go against France. I think it's
But
going to be France.
it's gonna be yeah, it's the most stacked team. But even like you mentioned, Boadu, and
Mhm.
Netherlands still have Brian Broby. Brian Broby is there too.
Is he?
Yeah,
I didn't see him on
yes,
the. I probably just missed him, but that would make sense. I mean, he's of the age and certainly
he's
one
there
hell of a
too.
talent. So okay,
And Divine, you know him better.
Divine
The
Ranch.
name,
Yep.
he's talk about more. Talk about him. I don't know a lot about him. I saw a
Yeah.
couple of Ajax games, but I saw that
Well,
Gravenberch was a tank, but he's underrated, no?
he is underrated. I think his first couple games for the Ajax first team were shaky,
Hmm.
and then he put in, and I'm gonna botch it. I don't remember which competition, but he
Okay.
put in some just unbelievable. I think it was maybe a brace or had a goal and 2 assists. Just kind of one of those aha moments, like, oh, this kid. Okay, now I'm seeing what you're talking about. If you don't follow, the young division, right? You don't follow the young guys over in the Eredivisie. You don't really get to see too much of them. But Wrench has versatility, right? Right back,
Hmm.
he can play in the midfield, he can play in the center. Not sure if he can play on the left, but I would imagine he could. Just a very, very solid talent, and he's going to get the showcase for sure. And yeah, day one, you're taking on France, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, he's a hell of a talent. And then the other one that we barely even talked about um, is definitely for me. Well, we barely talked about Florian Verts and Riddle Baku. Okay, Baku
Okay.
and Verts were two of the breakout stars of the Bundesliga this year.
Hmm.
So Denmark, Germany, Denmark might have the defense based on their beating of France in the group stages, but Germany, this Riddle Baku should be, in my opinion, on the German roster for the Euros. And his versatility as well. He's fullback. He could be a fullback. He could be a wingback. He could be a winger. But he played every role he could in a breakout year. Had a bunch of goals, bunch of assists, and is a tireless worker. And then you got Verts. Verts Musiala late in the year kind of overtook Verts in terms of the headlines,
Hmm.
but he's
But
like
first,
he's Kai Havertz starting out again. It's like
but
they regened Kai Havertz.
but
Very
Vert
different
stopped
player.
scoring goals though. I think
He
Vert
did.
stopped scoring goals, and Musiala kept them. And
Yeah.
Bayern winning the title. All the news is gonna go to Musiala. I get you though. I feel
Yeah,
like
but I mean,
he's overlooked. Florian Wirtz is a talent that is overlooked. I
yeah,
completely
but you
agree with
you
you.
also got to remember it was Moussa Diaby and Leon Bailey that just kind of took over the goal scoring. So
Those two
I
are very
mean,
underrated. Like
yeah,
Leverkusen might have the most underrated talents out there. Tapsoba too, center
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Whew,
and
he's
and
really
big
good.
transfer target, big transfer target.
And Jeremy Fringpong left Celtic to Leverkusen.
Yeah, hasn't gotten on just yet, but he did get quite a few appearances later on in the year for them when there were some injuries. I think he'll have a breakout season next year too. We'll see. Yeah, he was
Okay.
great for Celtic though. I remember him.
Well,
Uh,
yeah. He's a good young talent.